Okay, hello everybody. This is Kathleen Hepler, Diamond Ambassador here with Plexus Worldwide. Thank you for coming again to our Thursday night training call. Today we have 4 of us on tonight to recap Super Saturday. If you were there, great. Get out your notebook and compare notes to what we thought were the top things and add to that to give you a better base of what to do, how to do it, and who to talk to next. If you haven't been there, if you didn't get to Super Saturday, definitely get out a pen and paper because you're going to be taking a lot of notes between now and the end of this call. We have with us, I was at Nashville, Tennessee, and hosted was...
Maybe explain what Super Saturday is for those who've never heard of it.
I was just going to do that.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was at Nashville, Tennessee, and was a trainer out there. Erin O'Keefe, who just spoke, she's a Diamond Ambassador, and she was out in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have 2 wonderfully lovelies. We have Liza Reef and Jody Rutledge, who were out in Albany for that Super Saturday. So what that is 26 cities around the United States and Canada all arrived together. 20,000 ambassadors arrived together in all of these 26 cities around the country to hear the same information. This is the largest event of the year with Plexus. It's to kick off 2017. We had an opportunity night on Friday, which is an informational night to get everybody together that hasn't heard of Plexus or who doesn't know exactly what it is. Saturday was training for ambassadors only, goes from 12 to 4. Great event where we have jam-packed full of information. As Erin and I were just saying before we started recording, that we lost our voices by the end of those 4 hours because it was just that much information. So I walked away, even though I was a trainer, I walked away educated, inspired, and motivated to kick off 2017 and start my business all over again. As a Diamond Ambassador, starting brand new all over again, tons of new plans and ideas. So you'll hear some of that today as well. So we're going to start out with my friend Liza Reef, who was out in Albany. Hello, my dear.
Hello. So first, before I get started, I do want to say, you had mentioned 20-something, 26, 28 cities across the U.S. and Canada. We have well over 100 diamonds in Plexus, and just over 50 were chosen to be trainers. And we are lucky and proud to say that Kathleen and Erin, you were 2 of those over 50 trainers. So kudos to you. I brought you guys up a little bit this weekend at Super Saturday in Albany. So just wanted to publicly say on behalf of everybody on your team that we're just so super proud of you. Okay, so I have 3 things to kind of go over really quickly. Mine aren't anything like too elaborate, just stuff that we talked about this weekend at Super Saturday. And the first one really just comes from me and my heart, and that's events in general. So we had close to 800 people in Albany this weekend, which is absolutely incredible because 2 years ago, first Super Saturday I went to, 300 people was the max that we had in Albany. And now I can say we were close to 800. I'm saying close because there were some people who, for one reason or another, I know that there were several people who couldn't get to us because of weather, and I'm not sure about the others. But we did have some people who didn't attend. And that event is the biggest Plexus event of the year. And it not only was jam-packed with tons of information, but if you could have seen or felt the energy in the room, like-minded people in the same room, relationships being built, people who have been talking on Facebook for probably months, years even, who are meeting for the first time face-to-face, me included, teammates that I had never met face-to-face, but here I am in this room meeting them. So events, leaders are born at events. They are so super important. Super Saturday has come and gone, but now we can think to other things. Convention is a big one, I will say. Like, if you can get to convention, please do whatever you can. You have from now until the end of May to find a roommate. Rooms in Vegas are pretty cheap. Typically flights are pretty cheap, and there's lots of ways to get your food and beverage pretty cheap in Vegas as well. So that's a really big event. But now, let's talk about the smaller events like this right now. There's 61 people right now on this call. There should be 261 on this call. And I'm not the bold one. The bold one on my screen is right under me. And it's really hard for me to be bold, but I am going to be bold right now. We as leaders, if you have a team, and that means just one person on your team, no excuses. Unless you have a family event, you have an important meeting, you should be on these calls so that your team can see how important they are. Yes, we record them. Kathleen, thank you. Every week I do have people who can't get on, and the recordings are really important. But being on the live call, you're more apt to get all of the information, because I know, going for myself included, I try to watch a video, and if it's a half hour, 45 minutes, I will fast forward a little bit and I don't get the full content. So these calls are really super important. Trainings here in Saratoga coming up the first week of February. We have a training that Kathleen and Aaron and myself are putting on. It's going to be fabulous. There's one the weekend prior to that in Long Island. These should be like jam-packed, because they're free, guys. They're absolutely free. You know, like, even if you have to drive an hour and a half. I've even seen some people, Erin Sue McQueen said that she was coming. She RSVP'd, yes, like, she's down by you. So just make a commitment, I guess is what I'm saying. Leaders are born at events, and just get there. Next up is just healthy business practices. And we talked a lot about this weekend at Super Saturday. And what we mean by that are two things: being consistent and being disciplined. So being consistent is daily or almost daily. Now, we understand, you know, we don't want you working Plexus 24/7, because you'll get totally burnt out. And as Alec Clark says, you should not be working Plexus 24/7. However, you need to make a routine out of your consistency. What does that look like for you? For me, in particular, it's daily. So I have income producing activities, IPAs, not the beer, although Erin does like her IPAs. And that is not scrolling Facebook. People will say to me, like, oh my gosh, I've been on Facebook all day. Well, what did you do with that? How many people did you message? How many customers did you follow up with? How many no's did you follow up with? What did your posts consist of today? So those are income producing activities. Handing out samples, getting on the phone with people. And I'm sure there's several people on this call who could, you know, pipe in too with income producing activities that work for them. So that's what we mean by consistency and discipline. You know, making sure that you have a routine, a daily routine for your business. So super important. Erin, Kath, did I miss anything with that one? Good? Okay. And then incentives. Like, I want to talk a little bit about the incentives that we have right now. I can't tell you how exciting it was to get the email about the 60-day trim up. This is something that we've been hearing rumblings about coming. Something's coming, something's coming. And this is also something that we've been wanting. We've been asking for it, and they listened, they heard us, and they made it happen. So Plexus is doing basically all the work for us. We get the customers, we ambassadors get our products, our auto qual goes off, and we're able to get our products and get into this Facebook group. They are running the Facebook group. We don't have to do that. I'll be honest with you, Erin and I at the beginning of the month, we were going to do something similar, but then when Plexus was like, oh no, like, we have this 60-day trim up, we said together, why would we do it when Plexus is going to do it for us? So they're giving us all these tools for our toolbox. We just have to utilize them at this point. And that's our responsibility as ambassadors, is to utilize the tools that Plexus is giving us. And that's just a matter of us getting our products, talking to our team members to make sure that they get their products, and getting customers. I've had 2 previous customers come back to me and start this month, and they're doing the 60-day trim up, a brand new customer doing the 60-day trim up, and then I've spoken to several ambassadors who are doing it as well. Why not, when they're giving us a trainer? You know, I saw a Facebook Live by her today in the Facebook group. So if you're not in there, you're missing out, big time missing out. She's incredible. She's working with the entire staff even at Plexus headquarters. Absolutely incredible. And then the Jumpstart January, the January Jumpstart, I don't know which way it goes, whatever. This was introduced to us this weekend in as Super Saturday, and it's really simple, and it is a great way. It's an awesome incentive for all of us, but what a great way to make our business balanced. Super, super important when it comes to our business. So 500 personal volume for ourselves, so our customers or our own products. 3 new ambassadors with a welcome pack, important, and then 3 new customers, either retail or preferred, with a $50 PV amount. That's what you need.
For the Garmin, it's only preferred, just FYI.
Oh, it is preferred?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I read. Okay, never mind. I lied. So preferred, but it's 50 PV, right? Yes, 50 PV. And then you get this awesome Garmin watch, which will probably be delivered to your doorstep within the first week or 2 of February. And that's pretty incredible. Just go to any of our pages and check out that Garmin watch or Google it yourself. It's an amazing accessory to have. Text messages, calls, websites, pictures, everything. Very similar to the Apple Watch. So if you're familiar with that. And then convention. We were introduced to convention Las Vegas in May 30th. And we have a fabulous convention contest. Again, helping us balance our business with new ambassadors on our first 4 levels, new preferred customers, points for our own personal volume, and fabulous prizes. If the email came out, if you didn't get the email, go to any one of our team pages and we have the information there, but we're talking great, great prizes, which is awesome. So good things are coming and happening here in 2017. If you did get to Super Saturday, I hope you had as great of a time as all of us did and in Albany. And if you didn't, then make sure that next November when registration comes out, you get to a city near you because it's so super important for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's perfect. Does that make sense to all of you guys? All right. Just the importance of it. There's so many tools that we could just run. They could give us nothing and we could run our business and still be successful because we have products that work and a compensation plan that is mind-blowing. But when they throw all of these things on top of it, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I am so self-motivated anyway. So the fact that they're throwing all of these things on top is just mind-blowing. So if you aren't motivated yet, man, you got to get there. So next we're going to hear from, should we do Jody next? Is that all right, Erin?
I'm up.
Oh, you're up. Okay.
Yep.
So yes, there we go. Erin O'Keefe, bring it on, baby.
All right. So yeah, I also agree with, yes, we have these great tools, but when we started, guys, we had nothing. We didn't even have a catalog or a website that had like the ingredients listed. We had amazing products, a ridiculous compensation plan, and vision. We had vision for what our futures were going to look like because we knew this company was can change lives. So we have so many tools now. It's so exciting. But here's why I love the 60-day. I think the 60-day, well, I know the 60-day is now going to put us on the map. Well, let's go back. Like before, we would just say, here's your products. And a lot of people know you need to eat right and exercise. Plexus is a tool to use with a healthy lifestyle, but not a lot of people weren't promoting it that way. So I think now it's a great full package we're giving people. It's going to put us on the map with the Beachbodies and the Advocares and all those other companies that give you the full package. So it's so, so, so important for the big picture. And I love that the prize for 3 customers, 3 ambassadors is a health-related prize. I think that's fabulous and shows where the company's moving. So many great things, guys. I got to spend a day at home office, which was amazing. The plans that they're giving us, the things that they're putting in place for 2017. If you were around in 2016, a lot of things were taken away, right? Like some compliance things and just the way we can run our businesses. But now all that's done. They're back to giving us things. And I think they've got off to a great start with all the things that they've given us just in the first week of January. So cool. I'm sorry if I cough up along in between. All right. So a lot of people have said to me, I'm waiting till the new year to get remotivated. I want to get through Christmas or whatever it was. And for me too, it does feel like a really fresh start. And maybe I also needed to get to 2017 to really start over because I feel like I'm a brand new ambassador again. But truly, nothing can get you motivated except for yourself. You cannot wait for anything to motivate you. The only thing that can motivate you is getting out there and working this business. When you start getting people healthy and start signing people and growing a team, that's what's going to motivate you. Nothing else will. So don't wait for like that light bulb moment or, you know, whatever, God to come down and strike you over the head, whatever you're waiting for, get out working now. So, the reason why the people stay self-motivated and others don't is because ones that do have a strong why. And that's what I'm going to talk about first. We have, a lot of us people that are successful in this company have a super strong why that we carry through us every single day. Like we feel it in our bones. It fuels our fire. Like we get out of bed excited to work this business because our purpose is so big. But here's what I'm finding. I've been doing a lot of coaching calls lately with my golds and some silvers, and I'm finding that most people don't have a why, or their why is a what. And that is going to really hinder you working your business. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, why do you need a why? You need a why so you have blinders on when you work in this business. You're going to get naysayers. You're going to get negative people. You're going to get people that say, oh, it's a scheme, it's a scam, it's this, it's that. We know it's not. But if you don't have a serious purpose or a goal or a vision for your future and what that looks like, it's going to be hard to get through that. It's also, it truly is one of the only ways to be successful. Okay, so what is a why? A why is an emotional attachment to a what. So let me show you what a why is not. Okay, so a lot of people said, I'm like, what is your goal? What is your why? And they would say, I want to be a jewel. I'm like, okay, why? Well, you know, because I get a call, whatever they said. I'm like, that's a what? That's just a title. That's not a purpose. For me, becoming a jewel in Plexus had nothing to do with a car or a trip, although they're awesome. It came with a massive paycheck that I knew would give me choices, would help me pay down my debt. Those are not whys either. Paying down your debt, if you're saying, you know, what is your why? Well, I want to be debt free. That's not a why. That's a what. Why do you want to be debt free? Well, the real why is because having credit card debt keeps me up at night and I'm stressed out. When I'm stressed out, I'm grumpy and I'm nasty to my kids, and my husband and I fight over money. That's a why. That's going to get you excited to work, is to get rid of that stress, to get rid of those fighting. You know, a lot of stress comes with money issues. A lot of people say, I want a bigger house, right? I don't know if Sabrina's on tonight, but I was talking to her today. She's like, I want a dream house. Okay, great. Who doesn't? But why? That's a what? That's a thing. Why do you want a dream house? And, you know, we were kind of getting deeper and deeper. And I said, well, I'm going to just explain to you, like, how I feel. Like, you know, I want a house for me with, you know, I've always said I want a swimming pool. Well, why do you want a swimming pool? Because I want to be the house that every kid in the neighborhood is at. That way I know my kid is safe, and I can keep an eye on them, and I can keep an eye on everyone else's kids, and they are happy being at my house, and that kind of stuff. So more of an emotional attachment. Speaking of kids, go to bed. She went to bed 40 minutes ago. Go. Okay. All right. All right. There's your why. So Peyton, I'm not kidding. When I first started, my why was to make $1,000. And that $1,000 for me would have helped pay. I had 2 kids in daycare at $2,000 a month. So that $1,000 would have helped our family a lot, right? That was my first goal. That was my first what. But why did I want to make $1,000? What did that mean to me? Well, that means that I didn't have to work that second job every weekend. You see, I was working as a teacher all week and working at a second job just to pay for my kids that I wasn't even seeing anyways because I was working all weekend. Okay, so what does that mean to your family? That means on the weekend when mommy's tired and mommy wants to be home and not miss all the birthday parties and gymnastics and all the little things, that means I'm present for my kids. And I don't have to worry about working all weekend to pay the bills. So do you see how that's more of emotional attachment than just a thing? So I really, really want you to dig deep and look at your financial, like what you want, and figure out why you want it. And if it's big enough, you will get out of bed every single day. Another thing I found was that other people, Katie King, I don't know if she's on, I was talking to her, and she said to me something so strong, and she's like, I was using everyone else's why as mine. She's like, I didn't have my own why. She's like, I just saw you guys doing your thing, and like I made your why mine, and I found that wasn't strong enough to get me through the hard days, or to get me messaging or following up, and I wasn't working as hard because I didn't have a true why. Now she does, but it's so important. You're like, why is she blubbering on about a why? I need to know how to work the business. You're not going to be able to work the business without it, I promise you. And when I see people struggling, this is the reason. Rhonda Shaw, I'll give one more reason, and I'll give one more example, because I could talk about this for like an hour, which I did at Super Saturday. Rhonda Shaw was telling me about her why, and she was saying, that she needed to make $3,000 a month. Okay, so why did she need to make $3,000 a month? Because that's what her family needed to cover all the house bills, right? Until they live in Arkansas, you can live off $3,000 down there. So she was like, that's my what, but my why is because my husband was up every night, all night, worrying about how we were going to pay our bills. And I knew if I provided him with this much money, he would be able to go lay his head on the pillow stress-free. So it's, I'm hoping I paint a picture for you, but it's really, really, really important. It's going to be your only source of motivation. Okay, enough with the why. I'm going to move to a little Facebook analogy Rhonda taught in Arizona, and I loved it. She talked about how your Facebook page is your TV channel, right? So before Plexus, your TV channel is your kids, whatever it is to you. I'm just giving an example. Your kids, you're posting recipes, you're posting, going on family trips, whatever you're doing, you're posting your life. And all of a sudden, if you're that person that begins Plexus, and now all of a sudden your page is just Plexus, your friends don't want to tune into your channel anymore, because now they look at you as an infomercial, right? So you really want to tie your page in with your personal life, and then sprinkle Plexus in a non-selling way. If you have a private customer group, yes, that does look different, but you really want your Facebook page to be about you, your family, and a little bit of Plexus too. You need to have people know what you do. Now, on the other hand, if you're not posting on Facebook and you're not posting consistently about Plexus on your page, you've basically shut your stores to your door. It's also like the door to your store, right? Like, say the spin studio down the street. The spin studio is great, but it's only open Monday morning at 7:15, Monday night at 7 p.m. But guess what? If I want to go to spin at noon, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm getting to a point here, because I know that store is not open. If your Facebook store isn't open, if you're not consistently sharing Plexus on your wall in some way or another, your audience, your customers are going to go find it somewhere else, because they see someone else posting more consistently that's more passionate about it. I hope that, nod your head, Kath, if I'm clear. So there's two ends to it. You don't want to overpost and make it an infomercial and where your friends gag and turn off your channel, but you also don't want to underpost and only post about Plexus once a month, because if you have a common friend with me, they're going to come to me because they see my consistency. So keep your channel turned on. I loved that analogy she gave us. The last thing I want to talk about is the learning, the tools. Not one single one of us went to school to learn how to do Plexus. No one went to college for it. No one got their degree in network marketing, which, by the way, we're going to start saying social sharing, not network marketing, because doesn't it sound so much better? Who wants to say, I'm in a network marketing company? So no one went to school, so you got to learn. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to not have analysis paralysis. This was part of our Super Saturday training. They put it in our trainer notes, and I love that term. Don't have analysis paralysis. Don't feel like you need to know everything about every ingredient and what it does, or every single thing about the comp plan before you get out there and start talking to people. Because I'm going to tell you, we didn't. I don't think I even knew what was in the pink drink until I was a Sapphire. I'm not even, and that was a year into the business. I'm like, just drink it, you'll feel good. I don't even know. People would come to my trainings and they'd be like, well, can you talk about the ingredients? I'm like, I don't know what's in it. It just makes you feel good. And that's not responsible. I'm not saying duplicate me. It's really important to learn about our products. But don't feel like you have to know every single thing before you get out there and talk to people. Jody's going to get a little into talking about storytelling, but it's so important to not only develop your own story, but to use other people's stories. You need to network in your own group too. Like if you're in a team group, you need to get to know people and who has the migraine testimony and who has the fibromyalgia testimony. And if you're new, don't post any of those words on Facebook. But so I'm going to turn it over to Jody now. She's going to get into the storytelling because I know this is one of the reasons she's so successful. So I am done.
Hi everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Jody Rutledge and I'm an Emerald ambassador. When they asked me to do this call, I was honored, number one, but they asked me what my 3 favorite takeaways were from Super Saturday. And for those of you that were there, storytelling, there was a video by, what was her name, Kendra Hall. Amazing video on how to be a good storyteller. Not only how to be a good storyteller, but to also learn that telling your story is going to get them to tell you their story, which is the whole point of storytelling, I believe. So I'm going to give you an example. If you can write down her name, Kendra Hall, she's got an awesome YouTube channel, but yeah, I was watching her and she started with a story that's totally not related to Plexus, but she was at an airport and she went up to the counter at the airport and she started telling them a story. She didn't even give the example, I don't think, of what the story was, but she told them a story, which in return got them to tell her a story. They related to her, they told her a story. By the time she was done, she asked if she could get on an earlier flight, and they put her on an earlier flight, swearing that they never do this for anybody else. But because they created that relationship, because it all started with a story. So I won't go into the details of, you can YouTube her, but some of my biggest takeaways from Kendra were having a story and creating our story. And I was excited when I was going to do this because I kind of sometimes feel like I am a storyteller. And not that I ever make up stories or maybe sometimes I exaggerate a little bit, but creating a story. So we should all have a why story. And just like Erin said, I don't have to go into our whys and why it's important, but we should all have a why story. Why we want Plexus, why we're doing Plexus. We should all have a product story. We should all know what the products have done for us. Just like Erin just said, I won't reiterate. We should all know what the products are doing for other people. That's why it's important to create these relationships and these sideline friendships and get to know your upline and your downline and just learn as many testimonies as you can so you can hear other people's Plexus stories too. And then we should always have our opportunity stories. Gosh, we all have, I think most of you know my opportunity story and how Plexus has changed my family's life financially. So make sure that we have an opportunity story as well as our product story. But she had some really good do's and don'ts of your stories. One of them was do practice your story, but don't memorize your story. I love that. So just make sure that you kind of are natural and you don't have to memorize it, just naturally tell your story. Another one was do include specific details, but do not ramble. Who wants to listen to a rambling story go on and on and on and on and on? The whole point of telling our story is so that in return, again, they will tell their story. And I loved that, getting to know the person. Do include, I said don't ramble. Do a little research on the person. If you're going to talk to somebody about Plexus, do a little bit of research. Go to their Facebook page and see what they like to do, or see if they've commented about how tired they are lately. Because then you can go and tell a story about somebody that you know that was tired. They were a zombie mom. And then you can kind of tell a story of, Samantha Grimm, who used to be a mom zombie, and share her story, which in return get her to share her story. So I loved that. I didn't really have much more. Do you guys have something to add to the storytelling? I just loved that. I feel like Erin said, I have created a following because I did what Erin said exactly not to do in the beginning of Plexus. When I first joined, I puked Plexus all over my wall, and that is a big mistake. So make sure that you continue to post about your family and your friends, of course, and your pets, and then incorporate Plexus in daily too. I feel like when I first started, I made that mistake and I did get blocked, and it's okay. But if I would have known what we knew now, then I probably wouldn't have had those people block me. Do you guys have anything else to add on storytelling? Because I'm excited to go on to the next.
I think that's great. But if you guys look her up, it's Kindra, Kindra, Hall, Hall.
Yeah,
I met her
got some good stuff.
I met her in Scottsdale. She's about 4'9", 100 pounds, and a little ball of fire. And really one of those people you can take in like 10-minute doses, because then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, she was much, but my jaw was just dropped the whole time because she was a good storyteller. And that's my goal, is to become a better storyteller, because I feel like she just got people to want to join. Whatever she was doing, people are going to want to join her because she's just such a good storyteller. She's told a story about her grandmother, right? How her grandmother.
Some golf club. But I think the point is to like, this company was built on stories and testimonies. So it's so important to have one and to learn everyone else's. So when you have that prospect, I've never had migraines, but guess what? I know where to go if I need a migraine testimony. So that's the kind of thing you need to really, if you're brand new, don't let that overwhelm you. That happens over time.
And that's what the team groups are for. If you need something, the other day I just added, who has had relief with migraines? And again, we can't share migraines on Facebook, but in our team groups, we can ask anything. Who's had relief from migraines? And then I have a whole list of people now that I can go to when I need help with migraines.
Jenna just asked a question. How do you tell a story without sounding fake? And let me tell you, it's all based on practice is a key thing. That when you sit back and think about your why and why you want to do this business itself, and if you know of how the products have helped you, think about that and practice it with your friends. Say it to your teammates, and it will get better the more you do it. I could go on and tell you a little story about how when I first started, I knew nothing of the compensation plan. And later on, as I learned little bit by little bit, but my little friend Erin, who came to me and said, what are these points? And I was already I was actually a silver, and I was earning points. I'm like, I didn't even look at the compensation plan. So little stories that have details in them, get people in your stories, but it's all based on you and about your heart. So if you start puking Plexus, you know that you've gone too far. So the more you practice, the better it will sound. But you're also going to talk about mindset a little bit, Jody. Did you want to touch on that?
Real quick before that goes on, don't think you have to have a life-changing, profound story. A story could be, I don't need 4 pots of coffee every day. A story could be, we can't talk about sleep on Facebook with Plexus, but a story could be not on Facebook, but you tell your friend, oh my gosh, I can't believe how great I sleep right now. These are things people need. Like, don't think you have to have this crazy story.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So whoever was in Albany for Super Saturday, how did you follow Sonia Dudley's mindset? So I just wrote some quotes that she had that really stood out to me that I loved. The first, I think she opened up the whole mindset training with, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And how true is that? How can you become a diamond ambassador if you don't believe that you could become a diamond ambassador? You have to change your mindset. Say it over and over and over again till you believe it. I am going to be a diamond ambassador. You keep saying that enough and you're going to believe it. One of the things that I loved, and I'm going to just kind of show you guys an example for those of you who are in Albany. I don't know if you guys did this, Erin, but Sonia recommended repeat it again. And I hope that you guys can hear this because I'm going to just give you my really embarrassing example of repeat it again. And hopefully you can hear it.
I am a survivor. I am strong. I'm the best mom, the best wife, and the best daughter, the best friend. I am an awesome team leader. I love to help people. I am with the best company that has the best compensation plan out there. I have the best team ever. I'm going to be a diamond ambassador, and so is my whole team. I'm going to change so many lives. I am creating a legacy for my family. I am the best me that I could be.
So I loved that. So if there's something that you guys think that you're not good at, I could keep going on, and I have more than one recorded, and I just keep repeating it and repeating it. Sonia said, you keep repeating the same thing over and over in your head, and you're going to start to believe it. So I could play these all day long for you guys, but I did another one where it says, I'm good with change. I love change. I really hate change, but I'm going to keep repeat it all over in my head until I start to do better with change. Erin, you know that I hate change. I am awful with it. So whatever it is you're fear of, I had to do another one before this call. I love to do team calls. I am a great speaker. I love to speak in public. So just keep repeating it. And I just love that, what Sonia said about that. So the positive affirmations, keep doing that. What you say all day is what you're going to produce. If I wake up in the morning and I'm depressed, and trust me, I have woken up and I was depressed, and there was times that I said to Erin, I can't function today. I can't function. Going back to Erin's why, my mom, I'm sure you guys all know, I'm here in Florida right now, and I could have a really big excuse to not be on this call, but I decided to take my mom's illness, and turn it into making my why bigger. I have flown to Florida twice in the past 2 months, and I have to come again in March. So I'm going to work my Plexus booty off bigger so that I can continue to come here until my mom is better. So, it's so corny when they say if your why doesn't make you cry, but my why makes me cry every single time. And every time something new comes up in my life, guys, you just have to change your mindset. And I'm telling you, it works. I hope you've seen a difference in me, Erin, because since Super Saturday, I have been pumped up. And it just changing your mindset, you just have to do it. You create what you believe. So again, if you don't believe that you could become a gold, a senior gold, a ruby, a diamond, if you don't believe it, then how are you going to become that? So start believing in yourself. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start thinking of what could go right. Right? I mean, what a simple quote. What do you guys have to add to mindset?
That's about it. I think
That's perfect.
I mean, even the recording part, that's about it.
Well, I'm really, 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 really excited for the next one. It's like my passion and what my biggest takeaway was from Super Saturday. Timmy Yancey and what was your husband's name?
Jake.
Timmy and Jake Yancey have 400 level 1 ambassadors between them. I don't know if you follow them on Facebook, but they have 400 level 1 ambassadors. What Timmy shared and what really stood out with me in that is I talk to strangers all day long, but I haven't really encouraged my team to talk to strangers. But when I left Super Saturday, I started talking to quadruple the amount of strangers that I normally talk to. And it's so much easier when you have examples. They did some role playing up front at Super Saturday. She gave, I think her and Sonia gave an example of going into Target, what you could do at Target. Going up to somebody, how often do we go to the checkout line, wherever we are, Target, Walmart, wherever, grocery store, and you say, hey, how are you? And they say, good, how are you? And the conversation's over. How about you engage in that conversation a little bit more and ask them how their day was, or have you been busy? Timmy says so often, do they say, oh, I hate my job. I can't wait to go home. I'm so tired. And she just uses that as an opportunity to say, you're tired? I'm so sorry to hear that. I used to be tired. I think I have something that could help you. Or if they hate their job, what an opportunity to say, have you ever heard about Plexus? I used to hate my job too, and relate to them. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what I did just in the airport on the way to Florida. I went up to the bartender, which I would never normally do, is go to a bar, but you probably all saw because I tell a story on Facebook. I was stuck in the airport and I went up to the bar, and I would normally just be on my phone and, texting and reaching out and following up. But instead I decided to actually engage with the bartender. And it was within minutes that she told me that she wished that she didn't have to have 2 jobs. You guys look for an opportunity and just make the decision. Just make the decision to talk to strangers. Make the decision to go out of your comfort zone. One of the great quotes that I said, or that one of them shared, is what was it? Do something every day that scares you. And was I scared the first couple of times that I talked to strangers? Absolutely. Now it's like second nature. I'm in Florida again, and I went to AT&T to buy a phone case. Well, this girl, I'll show you because it's actually pretty awesome. She sold me, that I didn't even go in for, she sold me this magnetic thing that sticks to the back of my phone that plugs into my phone pretty awesome. So I said, my gosh, you're an awesome salesperson. Have you ever, I didn't know the new terminology yet, Erin, but have you ever considered network marketing? And she's like, no, not really. And I was like, well, it was my in to talk about Plexus at the AT&T store. Immediately said, as soon as she showed interest, I said, well, are you on Facebook? I could add you to my Plexus group. And you put up your, Timmy did an example. You get up your Facebook, you hand them your phone, and you say, here, type in your name. I've never ever had somebody tell me, no, I'm not going to type in my name on Facebook. It's kind of like you put them on the spot. Don't be creepy, be honest, and like be sincere and yourself. I've never had somebody say, no, that's kind of creepy. You're a weirdo. I'm not friending you on Facebook. So that was one of the big things that I got is, I lost my space, is don't be afraid to talk to strangers. She even added an extra S to the Franks list. So we talk about the Franks list all the time, friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, spouses, and she says strangers should be the last S. So she does the Franks list. And that's just been my biggest takeaway from Super Saturday is creating that extra S and talking to way more strangers, because how long have we been talking to the same people? If you've been in Plexus for a while, we've been talking to the same people and getting the same answers, right? I'm not saying give up on those people, because there's people that are 3 years later joining me now, but how much faster could your business be if you got over the fear of talking to strangers? So
and here's what I want to say about Jody is the reason why she's able to put herself out like that and get over that fear is because her why is big. If she didn't have a huge why, it would be very easy to not do any of this, right? It's hard to do stuff like that. It's hard to go out of your comfort zone in the beginning. Once you practice, it's easy. I can talk to anyone anywhere about it now, but in the beginning, the reason she's able to do this is because she goes back to her why and her desire to be a diamond, because she knows that diamond income is going to make her life really easy, So everything goes back to your why.
Give you one more example, because I'm actually I don't even know if I want to give you guys all my secrets. All you in Albany might steal all my potentials. But GNC, I specifically was in the mall and went into GNC for a purpose to talk to the person at GNC counter. So I went into GNC and I was pretending that I needed some shakes. And I asked him if he would recommend a shake, and he started going into how he has thermogenics. Asked me what I was doing, first of all. Well, why do you need shakes? And I said, well, my company's doing this awesome 60-day challenge, and I want to win it. I want to lose 20 pounds. I know I can do it. And he not only tried selling me shakes, but he started talking about this thermogenic. So in return, I said, nope, actually, I'm all set with thermogenics. My company has an awesome thermogenic. Then he started talking about some product that had theanine and theacrine, and like Erin, I don't know much about the products, but those I know we have in Edge. And so he was really interested. Again, said, well, are you on Facebook? I now have this new friend at GNC that I'm messaging, and the girl from AT&T that I met in Florida, I'm giving her samples tomorrow. I've already messaged her. She's really interested, and I'm bringing her samples tomorrow. So be bold and don't be scared. And it's going to be scary the first couple of times, but the more you do it, the more natural it's going to feel.
Awesome. I totally agree. There is one little piece about this. All the things that these three have been talking about so far all tie in together. If you have a strong why, then you have the courage to go and do the scary things and talking to strangers. If you have practiced your storytelling and how to approach people, the more you practice it, the more courage you get. And the more you chat with other ambassadors about their stories, the more knowledge that you'll have, again, gives you the courage to do more. So all of these things are intertwined together. And if you're missing one of those pieces, that is that missing puzzle piece. And you kind of fall back like, oh, I really don't know a lot about the product, or a certain product that has helped an ambassador. I'm not sure about that one. So you feel a little uncomfortable about it. The more you get out there and interact with other people, or just message a friend in another ambassador and say, hey, can I just practice my story with you? See what happens, and practice. The more you do, the more confident you'll be. Sorry, Jody, go ahead.
Oh, before you go, I want to tell you one tip. Whether you're new, you've been around a while, it's something Rhonda said. I was like, that's so smart. You're going to take your Frank's list, so your list of people that you're going to talk to about Plexus, and you're going to call your really good friends. And you're going to say, hey, I just started this new company and I have to practice like a little presentation. Can we have a coffee date and I can practice it on you? Imagine you got 10 people in front of you and you're practicing on them. Now you're just passively telling them about the Plexus products and the opportunity too, and piquing their interest. So I thought that was really cool. So that's another way to use your Frank's list is, so I challenge you guys to make those phone calls, or even if you've been around a while, you know, I'm working on a new presentation. Would you mind if we just met for like 10 minutes and I could practice on you? Like, I just thought that was a great idea.
And a big thing that I talked about when I, again, for the new people, that Frank's list, we will harp on it every single time we talk, because those are the friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and we'll go over it over and over again. So if you're new, you can ask your upline about that as well. But circle the first 10 to 20 that you know really, really well. Those are the people that don't care if you mess up, and the people that trust you no matter what. So if you go, I remember my very first day, I went to my friend Teresa and said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel awesome, and I need you to do this with me. She said, great, sign me up. And she was my very first customer because she trusted me. She didn't know anything about the business. She didn't care if I messed up. So once you get confident with them, and they'll ask you little questions, and if you say, oh, I'm not sure, you write them down and you learn them, so that after those first 10 or 20 that you're comfortable with, beyond that, you feel much more confident because you have those initial questions answered. One thing that I always talk about with Frank's list, and I talked about this in Nashville, is after you write down the list of names, next to it, write down, as Jody was talking about, going on Facebook and finding information about them, about the pictures that they post, their family, their health issues, financial issues, something, so that you're doing your homework, your business practices before you contact them, and write those issues or things that Plexus could help with next to their names. And if you think, you know what, Kath, I've done my Frank's list over and over, and you tell me to go back and do it again, we did another activity based on that list as well. Pick one of the names on your list, just a random one, and instead of saying my friend Sue, taking your friend Sue, think of people that Sue knows, not that I know. I know my friend Sue has her best friend, her mother-in-law, and start writing names down of people they are connected to. Because, again, we went back to right before we started the recording of there's so many people that haven't heard of Plexus that could use these products. You really need to dig deeper, just like we say dig deeper with your why. Dig deeper with that Frank's list, because there's so many people that you're connected to that you haven't written down yet, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. And Rhonda said something really smart too. She was like, you know, if you think you run out, guess what? I have a dog. And guess what? I have a vet. And guess what? They have a vet tech and 3 adorable girls who work in the front office. And guess what? My dog needs to be groomed. And there's 2 groomers so all these people go on the list. You have a dentist, right? Your dentist should be on your list. We have doctors in our company. If you're new and you don't know that, we have doctors, pharmacists, nutritionists, like your dentist, your dental hygienist, the people that work the front desk, all those people should be on your list. It doesn't mean you're going to go in there and start talking Plexus with them, but you strike up conversation and start telling stories and asking stories like Jody said, it's going to come up.
One last thing about that, looking at these individual people that you're contacting, those should, in the very beginning, they may say, you know what, the whole like can't afford it kind of a thing. You could do one of 2 things with them. Either say, all right, we have a business for you, which I did with many of my level ones. I have a business opportunity for you that could help you turn that financial situation around. Or if they say no to that, you always have a backup and say, all right, I know that you might think that this company has expensive products, but we have many that are $30 or less that could help change you physically. So let's start with something different. It doesn't have to be the full-on triplex. Start them with the probiotic or the X Factor, something like that. So there's always people that may have objections. So practice with your team to talk about ways to encourage them to try something different. So,
Kath, can I add one? Can I add one more thing?
Of course,
to something. One of the things that Timmy Yancey said was, it was actually quite funny, but this is going, to the beginners or to the new ambassadors, and we can tie it in our old ambassadors too, but find 3 people in this business that you can talk into. Timmy actually said that you can peer pressure into doing Plexus with you. Calling your best friend, your girlfriend, and saying, just like you said, Kath, but I just love Timmy's advice to pick 3 of your best friends, your mom, your sister, whoever, 3 of your closest people that you can talk into doing this business with you. I loved that analogy.
Because how much more fun is it doing it with a friend?
3 friends. 3 friends, yeah. You're silver.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys have if you 3 have anything else you want to add. My job is to wrap it all up and to give you guys homework, because that is what we do every single time. Again, go back to that Frank's list if you haven't yet, and continue to, that list is ever evolving. So continue to put that at the forefront of your mind every single day. And also look beyond just the individual person to join you. Look at people that are better than you, that have influence, that know people. Say, we just talked a few seconds ago about chiropractors and nutritionists. That is a huge deal, because they have an office filled with people that come in throughout all day, every day, and they are product driven as well. And if they looked at these products and the ingredients, there's no way they wouldn't want to jump on board. They just haven't been told yet. So finding people, act like a business owner, and get your catalogs, get your rec cards, these little things, or your triplex cards. Get these through the back office, get prepared, call up, make appointments, be a business owner, spread your business wealth, spread it, which will spread the product knowledge and spread the product quicker and faster, instead of one person and again another person. Get bigger, better. Look for people that have many contacts. It's not about you, it's who they know. It's not, the business is not about you. So that is your big time homework, is to make 2017 about spreading Plexus through, especially if you're up in the Northeast. Holy cow, there's nobody up here yet, really and truly. And practice that Me+3, which that sheet I'll put out as soon as I can, so that you guys could take a peek at that. And practice that why as often as you can, because the more you do, the more eloquent you sound, the more polished and the less memorizing it would be. Is the Me+3 available in the back office? I believe so. If not, it definitely will be if it's not yet. We'll double check for you. But what we're going to do at this point, I'm going to stop the recording, but we're going to have some question and answer. All right. So thank you, ladies, so very much for coming. For Liza, Jody, and Aaron, thank you. And these 3 lovelies are going to be on weekly calls from now on. So thank you again, ladies.